Does your child cringe when they're asked to hug Great Uncle Stu, and then you're left wondering how to navigate the situation? Do you force the hug, or do you deal with awkwardly explaining to Great Uncle Stu that your child's just not a hugger? Moments like this can put a damper on the holiday season, and it's tough to know how to handle them. Hugs are great, and many kids love hugging other kids and adults, but not all kids are comfortable with that form of physical contact. During the holidays, kids are often expected to give hugs and kisses to relatives and family, friends, and sometimes even when they don't feel comfortable doing so. This can be confusing for them, as they may not understand why they're being asked to show physical affection to someone that they don't really know that well. I'm Dr. Lindsay, a psychologist and mom of four, and in this video, I'm going to share with you the most important reason why you should not force your child to hug anyone and how to handle these potentially awkward situations at the holidays. First, forcing your child to hug others puts a strain on the parent-child relationship. What makes awkward hug or don't hug situations even worse is parents saying, "Oh, come on, you can give Great Uncle Stu a hug," or, "Oh, he'll feel so bad if you don't hug him." It happens a lot, so don't beat yourself up if you've ever been in that boat in the past. I'm sure I've even said something like that before. It's like you're watching a slow motion car crash and you want to prevent it from happening. But take a moment to really think about what you're asking your child to do in that situation. You're telling them to ignore their own feelings and not respect their own body. Your child needs to know that you're looking out for them and that you'll protect them, not that you'll put them in harm's way to avoid any sort of embarrassment or to make other people happy. This leads directly into the second reason you should not force your kids to hug others, which is they need to learn to respect their own bodies. I'll speak plainly here and ask you to imagine your child as a teenager out on a date with somebody who says, "Oh, I'll feel so bad if you don't give me a hug." Teach your child to respect their bodies early so they can respond to that with, "Oh, you'll be okay. Please take me home now." Third, instilling this sense of respect for your child's own body directly ties into teaching them to respect other people's bodies. So again, I'll speak plainly here and use the teenager example. If your child ever asks a partner if they would like to be touched in a certain way and that person says no, you want your child to stop immediately. The teenager example may seem shocking or like a stretch from the sweet little toddler sitting in front of you, but every time you enforce boundaries with your child when they're young, they're forming lasting impressions of how the world should look and how the world works. So when you say, "It looks like little brother wants some space now, please let go of him," or "That's okay, you don't have to hug Great Uncle Stu," you're teaching them to respect their own bodies and other people's bodies. That sure makes a seemingly small forced hug situation carry more weight, right? So let's move on to how to manage awkward hug refusal situations next. Now, first, I want to mention that I do have a free download called 5 Tips to Thrive as a Family at the Holidays that can help with other family holiday stressors. You can download your copy at drlindsayemmerson.com/holiday. I'll pop that link in the description below for you. Now, first, understand that children vary on a number of personality traits that tie into how comfortable they are around strangers, in new environments, and connecting with other people through physical touch. These are normal variations that are just part of what makes each person unique. No abnormalities that need to be corrected. So I suggest viewing your child's decision to hug or not to hug as just a fact of life, nothing to pass judgment on. That perspective shift will help you to adapt a more matter-of-fact, non-emotionally charged view of the situation. Second, anticipate the issue and plan ahead. If you're going to be gathering the family members and friends, discuss with other people before leaving the house that often people like to offer hugs in this type of situation and ask how they feel about that. Let them know that the decision is entirely up to them. You just wanted to have a little heads up so that nobody's surprised if somebody asks for a hug at the get-together. Regardless of how they answer, you should be mentally prepared for the possibility that in the moment they may prefer not to have a hug. Third, let your child know that it's completely fine to choose to hug or choose not to hug, whatever feels right to them. It's also fine to hug certain people, but not other people. Now, pro tip, it can be very surprising when children choose not to hug people that they formerly were very comfortable hugging, but many factors contribute to that. For example, if they haven't seen grandma in a little while, it takes some time to warm up to wanting to hug her again, even though they were so affectionate on her last visit. Fourth, discuss alternatives to hugging with your child. While it's perfectly fine for your child not to hug people at holiday gatherings, this is a wonderful opportunity for teaching social skills. Let your child know that making eye contact and saying something like, "Hello, it's nice to meet you," in a strong voice are desirable behaviors. Help your child brainstorm alternatives to hugging, such as a high five or a fist bump or an elbow bump or a handshake. Anything to make it clear that they do not want to hug. For example, they may hold out their hand in front of them and say, "I prefer a handshake, please," or, "Oh, I really prefer high fives." It would be great to role play this strategy that you select in advance so that they feel very comfortable in that situation with that motion of holding out their hand. I'd love to hear how you decide to handle these situations in the comments. And finally, reassure your child that you've got their back, always, and that you'll always be there to help them navigate social situations and support them in their choices. I hope this video helps you and your child know that it's okay to say no to hugs at the holidays and that their body autonomy is respected. For more support navigating the stress of the holidays, click on the video on screen about harnessing the power of family meetings at the holidays.